Hello and welcome to Armed with Controllers. This is Fabs and today I am playing Super Robot Taisen Z2 Saisei Hen. This is a game I've been wanting to do for this channel a hell of a long time. Largely because I haven't had the equipment to record PSP gameplay, but that's changed, so here we go. So this is a recent instalment of a ridiculously long-running Japanese franchise. Basically, a while ago, during the era of the Game Boy, a very smart Japanese guy said, let's take a whole load of mecha anime, stick them into a strategy RPG, and laugh. And that's what this is. So as you can see, I've got so many different mecha here. There are some Gundams. I'm not going to be focusing on those too much because I do a lot of Gundam stuff on this channel anyway. So yeah, loads of different mecha. In this particular level, I'm fighting against the invaders from Getter Robo Armageddon. So what this video is, I'm going to do like a highlight reel of me going through this level, talk about how the game works and such like. So, I've picked the Gurren from Code Geass. As you can see, I've moved closer. I can pick any of those attacks to do. So here's the thing. I've chosen to attack this particular invader. It's got a 29% chance of hitting me. I've got a 100% chance of hitting it. So it's sensible of me to do this. Okay, so you pick your attack, and then if you've chosen to have attack animations on, you get a nice little cutscene showing how the attack goes, which is pretty cool. But what makes this particularly awesome is the amount of care and effort these crazy Japanese people do with this. So as you can see, they've got Callan there, the pilot. You can hear in the background the music, which is AwC, the first opening of Code Geass R2. And yeah, just the animation, everything about this. They, just the little pilot cut-ins, trying to get everything matching up as closely as possible to the anime it comes from. And yeah, here's another fun thing about this game. You kill an enemy with an attack. Sometimes you'll get a special death animation there, what they call dynamic kills, which is it's really cool. I quite like the amount of effort they put in. Okay, so that's basically what this game looks like. So here's a quick highlights reel of how this first turn went. Wasn't that cool? Okay, so I've skipped ahead now to the first enemy turn. They basically get the same rules as us. They get the first hit this time instead, which is fairly simple. You of course get to attack back, much like they do. So I've turned attack animations off just so you've got an idea what's going on with this. The game does choose attacks for you, but I find it's always a good idea to double check because they invariably pick attacks that will drain your energy or ammo or whatnot. Okay, so one thing I've done is I've made sure that everybody has certain skills, because this is quite late in the game and upgrading them and whatnot. They all have, after they achieve certain will, which is gained by killing things or allies blowing stuff up and whatnot, they can get a second turn if they kill something, which is pretty damn cool. And oh look, when you hit 70 kills, you get certain abilities, which is nice. So what's happening now is because the Dankuga Nova here, and in a second, yep, and the Lancelot Frontier, because they've both hit the certain will requisite, they get special abilities there, which are very flavourful according to whatnot. I particularly love the fact that Suzuku there gets the Curse of Geass on him. It's pretty damn cool for those of us who've seen Code Geass. Okay, so one-on-one attacks aren't the only things. There also exist map attacks, which makes sense considering the scale of some of these things that you can do to people. These, unsurprisingly, attack certain areas on the grids. You still get a little animation and music, of course. This here I'm using here is Crow in the Librasta. He's actually the main character of this game, so good to show him off a bit. Main characters in these games tend to be original creations by the developers, so that no one series gets any particular spotlight and whatnot, which is quite nice of them. So yeah, map attacks, they take all kinds of different sizes. As you can see here, that's quite a small one, but it's pretty potent, I'd say. This is being used by Alto Saltome from Macross Frontier in his custom VF27, I believe. So that's quite nice. One thing I do love about the game is the way the music is used. The fact that you're hearing usually the opening music or particular battle music for that particular show. It's also very customizable as well, which is pretty damn cool. Okay, so another way you can completely screw up your opponents is by use of what are called support attacks, which basically means after you attack the enemy, they attack back. On certain situations, though, you can then get a friend who's adjacent to you to hit back. So let's have a look at one of these. I'm going to be using the Aquarion in its base form, the Soul Aquarion, I should say, and we're going to do a pretty damn cool attack. And one nice thing is that we're a fair distance away, so that the enemy's not going to be able to hit back. And I'm using 2 units. I'm going to be assisted by the Gundam Cherudim from Gundam 00. They're both able to strike from a distance, from really far away from the map, which makes them really good as support attackers, because you can do a lot of damage to an enemy here, as you can see there, and they're not going to be able to hit back, and then you can send in a more close combat unit to mop up where needed and such like, which is pretty nice. So as you can see there, that's it, basically Invader there, basically whining how it can't hit me. What a shame. Now, of course, because Aquarion is the one that initiated the attack, this means that at this point the music's not going to get overridden by the Gundam 00 theme. It's going to stick with Genesis of Aquarion, which is it's a nice song, so let's just sit back and appreciate it. I'm sure Lock-on Stratos here, I'm sure he loves it too, so let's enjoy that. Now, of course, one thing is, if I remember correctly, the one who gets the kill is the one who deals the finishing blows, so support attackers invariably do get a lot more kills than their regular brethren, depending on how they're used. So that's one thing to keep in mind, particularly if you're aiming to get people's ace bonuses, which, as we saw earlier, they're activated. They're unlocked when a unit gets 70 kills. So yes, there we go. One nice thing there, the Aquarion has hit and away, which means it can attack and then move rather than having to move then attack, as the case with others. Okay, so here's a very interesting unit I'm using here. This is Neki Basara in his custom VF, whatever it is, VF19 from Macross 7. Now you notice his attacks can target allies. What's up with that? Well, you see there's a reason for this. This unit here is a rock band! Yes, right, listen to that guitar lick. So good. Yes, Macross 7, from which this character is drawn, is, like most of the Macross series, is all about music, but this one's in particular awesome because it's about a rock band, and you've got this mental patient here with his friends. They fly into battle singing, trying to stop battle with music. It's so ridiculously fun, and they've worked that into these games by having it so that you're singing songs. In this case, it's singing Dynamite Explosion, which is pretty damn awesome. Some scenes there from the opening, which is pretty cool. And these songs all have different abilities. So, for example, Planet Dance restores HP. I can use My Friends to cure their spirit points, which are used to cast buffs and whatnot. So, yeah, whenever, in any of these games, if Macross 7 is in there, the Firebomber units, the song guys here, they're always invaluable because they're fantastic at buffing and making things more powerful. Okay, so we've got a bit of an idea how the game works now. One thing about map attacks is that invariably, most of the time you can't actually move and then use a map attack. However, with the move again ability I talked about earlier, one thing you can do, as you're seeing here, you can manoeuvre yourself into a position where the map attack will be really awesome. kill something, just kill anything, get your second move, unleash the map attack. Now, I've activated an ability on Setsuna here in 00 Gundam, so attacks deal 2.5 times damage this turn. Okay, so here we go, the Transam Riser Sword. Classic for anyone who's seen Gundam 00. Here he is, activating Transam, raising the sword high. Wham! And look at that damage. Yes, got to love that. Now, so you can use the Transam Riser Sword on a single opponent, but it's incredibly nonsensical, even if it is damaging. So that's why they have these map attacks. Largely so we can say, okay, that makes sense. Alright, so we've killed a bunch of guys, and of course, enemy reinforcements turn up. In this case, it's the Vajra from Macross Frontier. Whoa! This is a very common thing, stage progression in these games. Usually you'll find an initial group of enemies, you'll kill them, and then stuff will happen, and at which point the stage will continue. Oh, look at this. We have Nia from Gurren Lagann grumbling about something. It's at times like this I really wish I read Japanese, because from the plot summaries I've read, they do an excellent job of meshing the plots together in these games. This one is facilitated by dimensional warps and whatnot. Universes are colliding, that kind of craziness and whatnot. And oh look, we've got reinforcements now. Here we have Holland from Eureka 7 in his thing. I can't tell, I've not seen Eureka 7. And he's joined by two of the Knights of Round from Gurren Lagann. Not Gurren Lagann, Code Geass, sorry. We've got Gino and Anya. Yay! And, look, some Macross Frontier people as well. Excellent! Now this is just everyone's returning. It's like Gondor has called for aid. It's fantastic. And finally, just to round it off, we have the two protagonists from the original Super Robot Z and the Shin Dragon from Get a Robot Armageddon. This all makes sense in a moment. So, yeah, this is, as I said, those two at the top there are the protagonists of the original Super Robot Z. You see, this is the second game in the series. Well, technically it's the second half of the second game, since they released it in 2 parts on the PSP. Yeah, they were completely absent for the first game. They came back in this one, and everyone's happy about it. Why are they happy about it, you ask? Well, let's use the Gunleon here as an example. It's yeah, there were 2 routes in Super Robot Z. The Gunleon was Rand and the Gunleon. They were the part of the one which is probably best described as the happier route, the more hot-blooded, more fun one and whatnot. And the Gunleon probably does describe that well. I mean, you've got a crazy, boisterous bruiser chap with his bizarre lolicon girlfriend. And here we go. Let's just listen for a second for the music. You understand why this is awesome. Yes. There we go. He has his own song. Yes, there we go. And the mecha here, it's a giant orange thing with a wrench. What's not to love? So good. And then why is he throwing it away? Because he has chainsaw hands! Oh, I just look at that cut. I love that cut-in. It's so ridiculous. You've got the contrast between, manly hot bloods of Rand and his crazy girlfriend being all cute kawaii and winking. Oh, so good. Okay, I'll admit there was no real reason for me to show you this aside from this is awesome, look at it. So there we go. And unfortunately I haven't had a chance to upgrade it, I think, because it's just popped in, so not much damage. So it's okay, I'll show you some massive damage now, and because this game is a Super Robot Wars game, we have to have a Mazinger. Mazinger Z is the big granddaddy of mecha anime. Pretty much everything we know and love about mecha does stem from Mazinger Z. So let's show this guy off, shall we? If you're from Europe, if you're from Latin America, you'll particularly love this guy because for some reason or other they decided to show him an awful lot in those countries. Well, those areas I should say. And is beloved by the kids worldwide. So this version of Mazinger Z is from Shin Mazinger Z Impact Chapter, which was a reimagining of sorts from the late 2000s. It's incredibly awesome and I do recommend it to everybody. Okay, so Mazinger Z as you can see here, is turning himself into a giant fist while channeling the power of Zeus. This is why I love these things. They're so balls to the wall, completely insane. There's such passion. Now you see, why is he turning himself into a fist? Because Mazinger Z's trademark shtick is the rocket punch, firing its fist out to hit things. Look at that damage. So I think having it do that is just fantastic. Okay, so we're back with Basara now, and you'll notice that yes, he can in fact sing to enemies. For the most part, there's no point in doing this, but against the original bad guys in this and against the Vajra, you'll find it's actually a very sensible move. So he has his own map attacks, putting on a little concert. So let's play Planet Dance, which was the first song you hear in Macross 7. Woo! Look at him put on a show. Okay, so it doesn't do anything to the invader, but all these Vajra, off they go. You see, because they're affected by the music, they actually take damage of sorts, and after a certain, it does damage to their will, and after their will drops a certain point because of the music, they flee. It's fantastic. Okay, I'm now using Kiriko in his Rabidly Dog from Votoms. Votoms is an awesome series, by the way. I say this about everything, don't I? Anyway, now one thing you will have noticed is that all these robots seem to be the same size. This isn't remotely true. For example, the Rabidly Dog here is about 4 meters tall, I think. Compare that with the Shin Dragon, which just turned up. And yeah, it's incomparable, the difference. And of course, these bad guys here are massive. So one thing that does happen in these games is they do take these into account, even if the animations don't. In that bigger creatures, they have a harder time hitting the smaller ones. But when they do hit, lots of damage. Likewise, smaller ones, they dodge big ones better, but they don't do as much damage against them. Now you can circumvent this with certain skills, certain abilities and whatnot. But there we go, that's something I think we all needed to see. Okay, let's got just a little time, so let's finish this video off by showing one final thing. The combination attacks. When two certain units are together, adjacent I should say, you can pull their energy to do a dual attack. Usually this will be because the two mecha are linked in some fashion. In this case, it's the Dunkuga and the Dunkuga Nova. Now, Dunkuga Nova was a thematic sequel to the original Dunkuga, which was an 80s anime. In terms of storyline, nothing to do with each other. But because of their similar design, the fact that one's clearly a sequel to the other in that respect, here we get to see them do a double sword attack. Now, when this was revealed on the internet for the preview video, you could hear the world over 5 million nerd boners explode. And you can see why. Yeah, so good. So good. I mean, I'm a big Dunkuga fan anyway, so having it in this game made me smile. And here we have a robot brofist. They know how to make these games for fans. They really do. Okay, last one for today, I think then, since I think you've all got a good idea of what this game's like and why I love it. Let's do another combination attack. This time from two mecha that come from the same series. So this is where they take something that happened, once or twice in the show, and they let you spam it. It's so much fun. So much fun. So it's the Shin Getter Robo now, and the Shin Dragon, combining their power to do some crazy Getter Beam shenanigans. Now, of course, you'll notice what I meant about scale earlier, right here, because, yeah. Now, bear in mind that the Shin Getter is pretty damn tall. Now, I think the best way to consider this is that the Shin Dragon is moon-sized, I think. I don't know exactly. Oh dear. Oh, look at that. Doing a proper manga-level Ken Ishikawa artwork in the animation. just a little shout out to the fans. Because that's what this game is. It's a love letter to mecha, and it's a way for its fans to really celebrate it. So there you go. So this has been Fabs, Armed with Controllers. Please like and subscribe, and as always, game hard.